Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 3 of Across the Board. I'm your host, MJ, and tonight we will be talking about the latest news from Photo Finish Live, as well as my latest tool that I released yesterday. Unfortunately, planned guest of Mike Sowers is unable to join us tonight, but that is all right. We will have him join in a future episode, so still very excited to have him on. So tonight's episode may be a little shorter, but that is going to be just fine. Chat, how are you doing tonight? Siberia, how are you doing? Thank you for popping in. So good to see you. Another familiar face. Chat, I want a lot of feedback tonight because there's some very, very big news, some very big things happening right now in Photo Finish. Season 3 is live. So I want to hear, what did you learn in Season 2? What are you doing in Season 3? If you're watching this on replay, throw a comment down on Twitter, on YouTube. How are things changing for you in Season 3? How did your Season 2 wrap up? I want to know. So, before we get started tonight, no information here is financial advice of any kind. The goal of the show is to educate and entertain. Web3 games are subject to change at a moment's notice. So please, if you decide to spend your hard-earned money, plan accordingly. I want to give a big shout out to Delmar DJ for the follow on Twitch, and Lucky, who's in chat right now, for the subscribe on YouTube. Appreciate that. And Lucky, I'm happy to have you here as well. Another OG and big winner of giveaways. I was actually thinking about MJ 6K. I know I'm a long way off from that, but you OGs know what that's all about. They get wild, they get fun. We'll see what happens if and when that time comes. But very, very excited. K&E, how you doing? Good to see you as well. All right, I'm loving this, chat. Chat, we're doing good tonight. Any of my old followers, have you created an account? Did you buy a horse? Are you using a trainer horse? Let me know in chat. Or if you're still just kind of lurking, still kind of watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to throw them out at any time. So tonight, we're going to start with our Around the Track segment. This is our news segment. And again, not necessarily a lot of news, but there's big news. Big news is that Season 2 is complete of Photo Finish Live. That is the inaugural season. It was named Season 2 because the horses were 2 years old. But yes, that was the first season, and it is done. Some pretty big stats from Season 2. 990 stables participated in Season 2 with over 3,000 steeds. That includes the free trainer horses for people that created an account. So pretty exciting numbers there. 26 million in Derby was spent on races, which is absolutely wild to think about. There were 2,550 unique races over the whole season, and they had crown staking and Derby payouts. I got a little extra Derby, not much, but some for just the small handful of races that I entered. So pretty excited about that. I thought that was pretty cool. So now Season 2 is done. We're moving into Season 3. So Season 3 is going to be a 5-week season ahead of us. We have some big races stacked up. The Third Time Classic, the Third Time Cup, the Third Time Championship, and a redacted series as well at the end of the season. Season 3 also opens the door for breeding, which is super exciting. Breeding window will open June 26th at 10 a.m. Eastern and closes July 2nd at approximately 9:30. Again, I believe that time zone is Eastern because Third Time is a Miami-based company. Keep in mind, though, if you breed within the season, your foal doesn't pop out right away. Will take time. So horses cannot race until they are 2 years old. So that means we are going to need a few months in order for that to happen. So if you were to breed now, your horse will not be able to race until at least August 28th. So if you're planning on breeding, retiring your horses, definitely something to keep in mind. We'll talk about Season 3, talk about some of my plans. I know Mike isn't here tonight, but we had some very interesting conversations, so I may kind of throw some of those thoughts and musings into the Q&A section at the end of the show tonight. But as well, just kind of let you into my stable and my plans for Season 3. Gonna circle back to chat here. We've got some comments from Lucky. Lucky's been running your trainer horse. Discovery process has been a little frustrating, but I think I'm zeroing in on the right distance. Lucky, if you want to talk about that, go ahead and drop your stable ID in chat. Mo, how you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, we have an absolute photo finish legend in the house tonight. Mo knows. Mo, thank you so much for stopping in. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. But yeah, Lucky, would love to help talk you through your trainer horse tonight. If you want to drop that in, Siberia, lucky enough to win the trainer series and won 500. Holy crap. Siberia, congratulations. Chat, throw some dubs in chat for Siberia. That is incredible. So now I'm looking for a paid horse with that money. Any tips would be appreciated. Thank you, Photo Finish. Ryan, appreciate you in the house. Love the support. We gotta build each other up as a community, chat. We gotta build each other up as a community. Raven, how you doing? Moo! Love it, love it, love it. All right, so chat. For those of you that have horses, Siberia, we're gonna circle back to your question. For those of you that have horses, what are you gonna do in season 3? What are your plans? Anything different? We'll take this time now. We can shift gears a little bit. We're going to talk about my stable. Then we'll spend a few minutes talking about my tool. All right, here we go. So here we have the MJ Gaming stable. I love my silks. I love the ability that Third Time Photo Finish Live allows us to create and upload our own colors, hex codes, graphics. I think it's incredible. So very proud of that. I've got a race tonight, chat, at 8:30. I don't think we'll be live then, but I may record it live separately and throw it up on Twitter. It's a race I'm excited for. I had Wabi in a race, was not able to go through with it. That's fine, got refunded. But in our past few shows, we've talked a lot about race selection. I saw this discussed in Discord as well. Right before I went live, in that, there was a comment about how race, it's not necessarily about race volume, it's about race selection. You've got to be picky, you've got to be selective. So I just kind of looking at past performance, and we've talked about this on previous episodes, but for Hakanai, 9 furlong turf yielding, and we talked about weather and weather conditions last week and performance there. This kind of makes more sense. The 9 furlongs feels good based off of Hakanai's boosts. Left in turf, absolutely. The yielding is kind of the big question mark because that's that middle of the road between soft and firm. And you can see the fleet figures here. Overall solid, but the positions aren't super great. When we go more favorable, because Hakanai has 3 stars, or 2.5 for soft, left 3, turf 3. We can see here that finished second. Got me some derby. Similar overall fleet figure, but much better positioning here and here. Then if we go 9 furlongs turf left good, that's the other side of the spectrum. That's going to be firm. Much worse position. Much worse fleet figures, both overall and early, mid, and late. And then, I kind of wanted to test out a different distance. 9 being kind of the higher end of the mid, in my opinion, which I think could be favorable. I might go a few furlongs on either side of that. But this 12 furlong turf left soft, again, great conditions here, but just longer distance, finished 8th out of 11th. And the fact that, early and mid were solid, but late just absolutely fell off completely with a 68 fleet figure. I think 12 might be maybe just a little too long for Hakanai. So what did I do? Based off of the weather conversations we had last week, I entered Hakanai in this Tasmanian Devil Maiden. Love the name, super fun. Pick selection opens in 12 minutes, chat. We might have to circle back and see what the odds are on this one. The odds get me excited. I know they're not a perfect indicator, but they get me excited. This is 9 furlongs turf left, 100% chance of rain. So that means very high probability of soft or sloppy conditions, which would be favorable. And then this is great at most A-, which Hakanai is. So I feel like I'm in a pretty solid, race selection with this one. I'm pretty happy with it. I am interested in trying out like an 8 or 7 furlong. But we've got 6 to 12 horses. The race is going to go off. Super, super excited for that. So I feel like even though it was small, Hakanai, and Timmy Trainer as well were both kind of my test horses in season 2. Season 3, I'm going to be much more deliberate. I'm going to be slower in my race selection. I want to, optimize performance, and I want to try and get the most out of my horses. I may not have it completely zeroed in yet. I could be totally wrong there, and that's okay. Still learning. Obviously, I have a ton to learn, but I want to be super selective for a few reasons. One, when it comes to retirement, when it comes to breeding, I want my horses to look as attractive as possible. And or potentially, if there ever comes a time to resell or to move on. I think trying to maximize that value is just so important versus just gathering race data. In other games, it might make more sense to just flood as many races as possible, but here I really don't think it does. All right. So the other thing I wanted to mention, talking about my stable, is the track ownership. So season 3 enrollment closes June 8th. 1 week and 1 day to opt in. You can edit your stake until the enrollment period ends. You can reduce your stake at any time. So from my racing the previous season, I earned 196 of the crown token, and I just threw it in immediately. Don't totally know what I'm doing here, but I think I'm doing it all right. And I currently, and this is like a running or a constantly accruing amount. Like it wasn't always 7.44. So this has gone up. I think it's even gone up since we've started the stream. But this will be my season payout. It's not a lot. This isn't even enough to cover a race. But you know what? It's something, and it's kind of exciting. And, when we talk about blueprint, as Lacey put it so beautifully in the last week's news section, really it's getting me to think a little bit more about the PFPs. So we'll see what I end up doing. I will always, let you know what moves I'm making and my reasoning for them. But again, please realize that these moves that I'm making are not necessarily the moves you should be making, and they are for my own personal situation. So pretty excited for this. It's season 3. I think the horses are going to be running a little better, a little faster, a little more exciting. Chat, I've got a question for you. Has the race algorithm changed or the race math changed in season 3, or are we using the same version? Let me know. Would love to hear your thoughts on that. If you've got any races in for season 3 and you're doing well, let me know. But very, very excited for this upcoming season, and very excited for my stable to see what is going to happen. We'll talk a little bit more about breeding a little later, but now I wanted to focus on the latest update to my website, which is this, call it the Gen Zero Ticket Analyzer. And if you haven't checked it out yet, I've got the link for you in chat. But what we have here is basically all of the mint ticket data. And this was taken from the spreadsheet from Mike last week. You can see he's credited right here. If you click this link, it'll take you to his Twitter page. If you want to see the original file, you can access that here. It's a Google Sheet. So basically, I took that, I threw it into my way of putting things onto the website, and basically created a dashboard and of all of the tickets. So if you wanted to quickly sort and find very specific ones, you could do that. Before we talk a little bit more about these filters and things, I want to circle back to chat. Photo Finish Ryan says no race math changes. The biggest changes happening at the moment are to the schedule. Very exciting. Hope to get in a few more. Some I know I missed, but hopefully we'll have a few more opportunities to hit the track this season. So what are we looking at here on the Gen Zero Ticket Analyzer, and why is it important? Oh, we got an extra little nugget here from Mo. You can check the file to see if the race math changed. It's on the bottom of the completed race page. Race math has been the same. Races are so clean right now. Night and day from early betas. Would hate to see them mess it up. I agree. I played in the first 2 rounds of the beta, and then Obviously, I've been racing a bit recently, and it does like it's the races are exciting, they're fun. Mo does an excellent job of calling the races. Third Time Thursday, please, 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 chat, click on his name, give him a follow. He absolutely deserves it. He's just absolutely killing it out there. So this tool, what can we do? So we've got the horse mint, we've got the filly ID, the stud ID, the gender of the mint, the track preference, so RTF being right turf firm, left dirt firm, left dirt soft, and left turf soft. The horse grade, and it's squished now because I'm just zoomed in so you can see it somewhat. But here's the total boosts. Here's the stud rank, the filly rank. This is the attribute matches. Then we have condition, direction, track boosts, start, speed, stamina, finish, heart, and temper. So then along with that, you can filter. So we've got a total boost filter, a start filter, speed, stamina, finish, temper, as well as track preferences and all of the direction, track, and condition boosts here. Pro tip, if you didn't see the tweet, if I click on, a specific mint that I'm interested in, let's say it's this first one right here. You'll see it highlight. When it highlights, mouse over it, and you can click this view horse button, or link, I should say, and it will pop up right here, and you can see, okay, this horse is for sale. Maybe I'm interested in buying it. Hasn't had any races yet. Cool. So it might not work. If it doesn't work, the horse might already be listed for sale. It could be a ticket. But right now I have it just going to the horses page. So if the link doesn't work, it's not necessarily broken. I would look into the actual ticket itself, or to see if that horse is for sale. So how or why would I use this? How could I use this? So when you've got your total boost filter, and you can just go ahead and move the slider. So let's say, I want something that has a decent amount of boosts. I'm looking at, let's say 20 boosts right there. And it goes into increments of 0.10. Now, if you saw it happen quickly there, but it's getting rid of all the horses that don't have 20 boosts. So then with that, I want to say, start something that's really important to me. I want to go starts of 2 or higher. I'm looking for kind of a sprinter. Maybe we'll have, got to have some speed. Stamina, I don't care as much about, so I'll leave that alone. Finish, heart's kind of important. And, I want something with a strong temper. We can do that. And you can see it's just updating here in real time. And I'm interested in, fillies only, so I'll uncheck colt. And then for grades, I don't want a B minus, or a B plus. And it is going to filter out, let's say I only want an S horse. Boom. Okay, so I've narrowed this down. Here's my list. So very quickly, we can go from, a lot. Hey, BD Henders, how you doing? A lot of horses down to a few. So how can we use this? Why would we use this? What are some use cases here? So a few. If you have, a male horse or a female horse, stud filly or colt or filly, and you are interested in maybe finding a partner, this could be a good start. I'm not going to say this is going to be the end all be all, holy grail. What you find here is going to be, the perfect match for your horse. Not necessarily. But it could be it could help to point you in a direction. So, for example, I noticed that my horse is, hypothetically, strong starter. I want to focus on short distances for my breeding. I may look to potentially buy, breed with, figure out who owns the horse, and try and reach out to them to see if we can cut some sort of a breeding deal. I could see, okay, well, this one right here, I really like these numbers, 24.5 boosts, 3 attribute matches. This one below might be even better. It's an S minus with 26 boosts, 4 attribute matches, 3s across the board. Starts at 2, that's okay. But the rest of it, wow, this horse looks pretty solid. This one might be super interesting to me. I'm going to click it. I'm going to click view horse. Let's see if it's available. Yes, this is Opus 1. So I might then, I see it's Pocono Racing. I might, try and find Pocono Racing in Discord, on Twitter, reach out to them and say, hey, I'm interested in, cutting a breeding deal with you. I know you have the filly. Can we work something out? You look at this career summary, earnings, wow, largest prize payout. So it creates an opportunity for you to then view the horse. Does this performance align with what I may want to bring into my stable? Yes, this looks exciting. If you look at these, okay, wow, 11 furlong looks like it does pretty well over some, mid to late distances, possibly. And it allows you to quickly dive deep into a horse. So whether that's I want to buy this horse, I want to potentially breed with this horse, so many options. Now, a few words of caution. Just because a horse is doing well now doesn't mean it will do well later. Just because it has all of these boosts doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be the perfect grade match, the perfect upgrade for your horse. So, I can't guarantee any offspring performance. I can't guarantee any, future racing performance, but it gives you some visibility pretty quickly. So let's say we can go ahead, we can unclick out of that, bring everyone else back. Great, I've narrowed down my list. This is what I'm happy with. This is what I'm looking for. You can also narrow down track preferences and things like that, because you would want, in theory, that to be aligned. So I've got, left turf soft. I'm just going to unclick these, see what comes up. Boom, we've got one horse, 26 boosts. This might have been the one we were just looking at. Great, this is my horse. So instead of having to put all these filters in again, what I can do is I can scroll all the way down to the bottom. You're going to see an option right here, this little download button. And I would download this as a PDF. When you download this as a PDF, what you're going to be able to do is select the text blocks in each one of these sections. So, for example, if we scroll back up, for example, I can then scroll across. I can grab this string right here of the mint, throw it up into the end of the horse URL. So if I need to recall this data later at any point in time, download it and say, hey, this could be potential matches for, Hakanai. This could be potential matches for Wabi Sabi. This could be a potential match to buy. You can start to create and export the different lists of horses based on different needs and criteria. Now, again, the boost doesn't necessarily mean it's rank. There could be different, or grades, I should say. The grade could change. And a horse racing in one season might race better or worse racing the next season. A lot to consider. But if you want to just take this mint data, these ticket pieces of ticket information, this ticket data, and you want to have easy, quick access to reference it, that's really the guarantee here, is that, hey, you get to pull this out and can analyze it. You can store it for yourself and use it. Now, let's say you have all of these filters. You don't want to manually reset all of them. No worries. Super quick way to fix that. All you got to do is click this back arrow with the line at the end, and it will reset everything, and you are back at the beginning. So, you might want to focus on just specific traits. You might want to focus on overall total boosts. Whatever you want to do, this will allow you to narrow down what's available for purchase, what you could try and cut a breeding deal with, and or just what horses are out there. Because right now we only have these Generation 0 horses. These are the OG horses. So if you think about your blueprint, as Lacey said, think about your house that you're building, what matches with your current stable, or in the case of Siberia, who was lucky enough to win the trainer series, you want to start looking at, what could I maybe build a stable out of? Do you take the advice that we talked about last week? Do you start with a filly so that you can, grow your stable out, get that foal, get that offspring? So throwing the link back in chat again for anyone that's new that popped in. But yeah, if you want to kind of get to understand what horses are out there, how they're doing, maybe even just check up on their performance for comparison's sake, this would allow you to do it. And again, if you click the link associated with the horse, after highlighting it, you hit view horse and it doesn't show up. It gives you an error. That is because the horse is either already for sale or the ticket has not been redeemed yet. So just keep that in mind. But highly recommend checking it out. So how am I going to use my tool in season 3. So my season 3 plans right now are go back, look at my stable. I'm going to continue to there we go. Race Hakanai and Wabi Sabi, being extremely selective with their races. I'm going to race Timmy Trainer 2 just to try and get more kind of general performance data out of him. And then I'm right now, I am not planning on retiring either of my horses. So I was talking to Mike about this. And something that's going to be important is like, are horses injury prone? Well, they can't get injured yet. So if a horse retires now, and in theory, if a horse is very injury prone, but that trait hasn't expressed itself because it hasn't had the chance to get injured, that may not necessarily be a good thing. That might be like a hidden gene that's buried. So I'm wondering, horses that retire now, are they going to be cheaper because you don't know? Do we have to wait a few generations? We will have to wait a few generations versus a horse that maybe has run a little longer, retired later, proven that they're not going to get injured. I think that's going to be very, very important in terms of consideration of like, because if I'm spending money to breed and to buy a horse, I want to make sure that I'm going to get, some sort of quality and longevity out of offspring. And if that continues to get passed down, I wouldn't even know how to begin to breed that out. That could be a real concern for my stable if I just end up stacking injury prone horses over and over again. I think that's really going to hamper the longevity of my potential stable. So, and what that could look like in the future. So that's kind of how I'm thinking of season 3. Not planning on retiring. Very selective about races. I want to hopefully ensure that my horses are run correctly to minimize the chance of injury. But also, just don't want a horse that's injury prone. And I want to be sure of that, a little more sure of that. So I might wait a few seasons. That could change in a day, in a week. But so how am I going to use this tool? Just kind of bring it full circle. I might start compiling lists for myself of future partners and say, hey, okay, here are, certain horses, certain tickets. I might throw in, if I get to know if the links do work and I get to see the horse name, the stable owner, I might throw that into a Google sheet and say, okay, well, this horse is for sale. This horse is, not for sale, but I might want to reach out to the owner to see if we could potentially breed in the future. I'm going to look at matches. So both of my horses right now are LTS. So if we just unclick all of that, that's going to be a requirement for me. They have to be LTS. And I'm going to be looking at, just high direction. So I want minimum 2.5 across the board. Again, this is kind of my own personal use case here. And, I might look for I'm going to keep Colts and Phillies. I want to kind of move up in grade. My best grade right now is an A-. Wabi is a B+. So I might, filter all of those out. And then I don't want any zeros here. So instead of moving the sliders, you can also click into a box. And you can just type in the numbers. And say, I want minimum 1s across the board. I want 3 for temper. I want a 3 for heart. And boom, here's kind of my short list right now for me personally. Again, this could change depending on, my strategies and things in the future. But I just created a short list for myself of horses I may consider. I see some 1s here in the start. So these may be, longer distance horses. I want to click in. I want to see their performance. Do some analysis of my own. I'm not just going to look at it and say, oh, boom, I got my horse. I'm done. I'm ready to go. No, you got to dive deeper. This is almost like a good surface level tool right here. So this is how I would basically use it for myself. Again, not financial advice. Just because you buy a horse or breed with a horse doesn't mean it's going to have a great outcome for you. A lot could change at any point in time. Lucky says it would really suck to breed injury proneness down the line. I hadn't even thought of something like that. Yeah, I mean that could be tough. That could be pretty rough. So I want to circle. I mean, we can kind of finish right now. We're kind of wrap up. Get into the Q&A chat. What are your plans for season 3? Siberia, what are your, having seen the tool, having seen or heard the conversation tonight, if you're still here, I want to hear your thoughts. What are you potentially looking for right now? What are you looking for? Any ideas come to mind? And then Lucky, if you want to drop your stable ID or a link to your stable, you can also DM it to me on Twitter if you'd like. And would be happy to, just do some high level analysis and talk it out with chat about your trainer performance. But no pressure, no pressure. Mo's still in the house. Mo says he's going to shut down 85% of the barn and prepare to populate the future. Interesting. Why is that, Mo? And how far are you into thinking about, your breeding pairs and what that looks like? Are you down a few generations? Are you looking at, just the next generation, see what happens and go from there? Are you breeding or trying to breed, I should say, for certain boosts, stats, etc.? What's your thought process there? Retire the fillies that don't have great stats and look for good sires to breed with. Okay. All right. There we go. Because we're going to have dark days no matter what for the next 60 days, gonna keep some weaker horses on the track. Interesting. All right. I like that. BD Henders says, retire the fillies that don't have great stats and look for good sires to breed with. Awesome. Love that. Mo says, going to have dark days no matter what for the next 60 days. Going to keep some weaker horses on the track. You're both green on my chat. Threw me off a little bit. Yeah, Lucky, sorry. Nightbot's being angry with you. Let's see if I can still pull it. No. Yeah, Lucky, just shoot me a DM and I'll throw that up on Twitter. I'm excited. Season 3 is here. Gooch KSR says, I've been trying to get my horse distances dialed in for my stable. Have a few more horses that need to break their maiden. Very exciting. What strategies, Gooch, are you using to try and figure that out? Sly Raven says, I'm retiring 4 out of 5 fillies. Breeding down to bees. Interesting, Sly. Why breeding down to bees, and why the retirement now? There we go. Thank you, Lucky. All right. So, Lucky, your silks are incredible. Let's take a look at Lucky's chat. Keep it coming. We'll circle back if we haven't already. Look at Lucky's silks. These are sick. Lucky Charms pasture, the gray, the pink, the gingerbread man. Absolutely love it. 6 races, 1 show. Grab and twist. Oh, what a name, Lucky. What a name. So Lucky says, I'm thinking my trainer horse is not a sprinter. Not sure where exactly to run those. So chat, if you have feelings on this, let me know as well. So let's look at all the, we'll go back to that, but let's look at races here. So this is my favorite view when looking at races. So 63, 45, 67. First, let's scroll up here. All right, so we've got left, dirt firm. Okay, LDF, 3 stars. Boom, Colt. Okay. So we are LDF. So this will be LDF. Cool. 9 furlongs. Finished last place. So 6, 7, 7. 7th out of 7. Yikes. 12 furlongs. Also LDF. 8th out of 8th. So 6, 7, 8. So just without even looking at anything else, yeah, I'm thinking like the middle to long may not be great, but we'll see what happens as we scroll up. Then we have another LDF. 8 furlongs, so slightly shorter. We see the fleet figures overall start to increase. So at 9 furlongs, 63, 1245, 867, 123. Okay. Then we have an LDS with Floppy last place. So 65 down a little bit. 6, 8, and 10. And then we have another LDS super short, but 72. So the overall fleet figure went up, 5th out of 8th place. And LTF short fleet figure of 70, 3, 2, and 6 at 6. So maybe this might be it. Chat, what are you thinking looking at this? I'm thinking, yeah, it's like kind of that mid to mid long. Although that 4 furlong was 72 fleet figure. Maybe try super short and fast. Let's see here. Mostly racing my horses at various distances using stamina rating as starting point. Stamina rating is talk me through that, Gooch. Talk me through that stamina rating. Mostly racing my horses at various distances using stamina rating as a starting point. Oh, your stamina, like your actual stamina boosts. Is that what you mean there? 0 to 4, 6 furlong, 1 to 6, 8 furlong, 2 to 8, 10 furlong, 3 to 10, 12 furlong. Sly says, I'm going for Everyday Man's Barn, lower cost to buy in the game and low race fees. You know, that's a really interesting point, Sly. And, you know, there really should be, you know, access to everyone that wants to get in and play the game. I think that's a very good point. You know, not everyone wants to or can breed up. So having, you know, a strong, you know, bee stable like you're trying to build out, there's something to be said for that, in my opinion. You know, I think there is room for all different types of stables and grades, and to have just killer bees over, that's fun to say, killer bees over and over and over again, I think that's pretty cool. I like that strategy, Sly. Stamina points based on the Gen 0 ticket. Got it. BD Hinder says, try 6 again or shorter. Losing positions as races go from early to mid to late. I started to run into the problem where all the dirt tracks were long distance. I'm hoping to get 4 furlong dry soon. I love that, Lucky. I love that. I hope you do. Let me know when you do. I'm excited for that. Sounds good, Lucky. Nice. See, look at this. Chat helping each other out, talking it through, talking strategy. I love it. Sly, you know, I love the strategy you're doing with your bees. Sly's Killer Bees. I mean, that might have to be like a little sub-stable name. Gooch, I love the stamina take. I think that's really cool. And I love that we came together, you know, talk through and help Lucky here. Very, very excited. We look at overall fleet. Boom. Yeah, I like that other view more. I just think there's more value here in the races. But yeah, Lucky, let us know, because I'd love to hear on a future race what that looks like. Sly loves it. Love it. Chat, any other questions? Any other strategies? How are we feeling? Are you as excited for season 3 as I am? Because I'm very, very, very excited for season 3 tonight. Just want to make sure we hit everything here. Siberia, if you're still here, what are your thoughts on your stable and potentially buying something? What are you looking at here? What are you looking here? Gooch also likes Sly's strategy. Hard to compete at the top unless you have a big bag to throw at it, right? And not everyone does. And you know, in my warning disclaimer at the beginning of all the streams, you've got to do what's right for you and what makes sense for you. Not everyone can just throw money at these games. And there's something to be said about, you know, maximizing your fun, maximizing your potential for what you have. So Sly, I think that's super smart, and I think more people should really think about that and consider that. I doubt I'd be able to have, you know, the biggest, baddest stable out there. So, you know, kind of find your sweet spot and, you know, play in that, have fun with that. The fact that there are races with requirements for like, hey, you know, maximum B plus, maximum A minus horses, you're going to have the ability to perform, to race. And I think that's going to be pretty cool and pretty exciting. Let's go switch back here. BD Hender's excited for the season and to see where the stud market goes. Yeah, I mean, this will be our first time looking at prices. This will be Very interesting. Lucky says, hopefully you'll have one to show off soon. Looking ahead, though, doesn't look like I'll get one for a while. Hope that scheduler is kind to you, Lucky. Hope that scheduler is kind to you. Siberia says, I think I'm looking for a Colt that is in the A area, and then use the rest of the money for entries. Once I learn the game more, we'll look for a Philly. Interesting. Okay. All right. Everyone's got their own strategy. I like it, Siberia. You got to do what works for you. Tip link does not work for you. Very sorry about that, Lacey. I appreciate the attempt, though. Is it because I had someone donate a few weeks ago? I'll have to look into that. Let's see what Nightbot is doing here. Nightbot may be a little too crazy. Let's see if this works, Lacey. Again, no one has to tip, but if you do, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Let's see if that works, Lacey. All right. Gooch, can't wait for breeding. I had some crazy breeds in beta V2. A- Philly breeding with an A stud, producing a 20 boost A+. That is wild. Gooch, that's awesome. I hope you get that again. Sly Urban says, I want a good quality low entry for people who can't afford a lot. Bring on the C's. Sly, we're gonna have to chat offline. I love what you're doing here. This is getting me excited. This is getting me really excited because I love, access. One of my favorite phrases is we all grow together. And I feel like you're providing that. You're opening that door, and I think that's super, super cool. Mostly why I linked this stable. Haha, love it, Lucky, love it. All right. So Gooch, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. 23 minutes ago. Sorry I missed it live. I gotta turn on that notification noise. So we get a little shook here with that. All right, so chat, I think we will close out for the evening. If you would like to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter account is x_MJ_gaming_X. Just link that in chat. Gooch, thank you. I appreciate that. That is where I'm most active. I usually lurk in Discord unless it's DMs. But if you slide in my Twitter DMs, I will respond hopefully immediately unless I'm out doing something. So absolutely reach out if you have questions, want to talk strategy, want to share information. Would love to learn because I'm still learning a lot myself. The other thing I want to bring up is, again, unfortunately, Mike was unable to join us tonight. That is okay. He will be joining soon. I'm super excited to have him on. But if you're in the community, whether you have a huge stable or a small stable, doesn't matter. If you're interested in coming on, you don't have to be on video if you don't want. That is totally fine. Please let me know. Reach out. Would love to, again, support this community in any way that I can. And I think, everyone who wants to should have a voice. I can't guarantee it will be tomorrow or next week or anytime soon. But we'll definitely do my best to have on as many people as would like, because I think, as we saw tonight in chat, we can really learn something from anyone. And we all have different perspectives and different views and different thoughts and how we approach this super fun and exciting game. So, chat, thank you so much for everything tonight. I appreciate you stopping in. Appreciate you being here. I will see you next Tuesday with episode 4 of Across the Board. I'm MJ. Again, find me on Twitter at xmj_gaming.